Hey everybody, what's up? Stinger here again, and as you might be able to tell, this is not Minecraft. The first non-Minecraft video on my channel, in fact, but, you know, Minecraft isn't the only game that I play, and I thought I'd also share some of the other games that I play. So, Planet Coaster. I'm playing Planet Coaster for not too long, like a few months or so, but I thought I'd share my creations here with you as well. So, here we go. I'm building a park that I'll call Saltwood Fields. And it's supposed to be a park, like a middle-sized park, right? Nothing incredibly big like Disneyland or something, but also nothing really small. The main real-life inspiration would probably be Hansa Park in northern Germany, mostly because that's the park that I've been in the most, but also because I like that sort of park, right? It's a quite rich park, but not such a super huge project, right? And it's also a park that grew over time and all, which I kind of prefer over these incredibly planned out parks. Just my personal preference. But in any case, so that's the main real life inspiration. And my main Planet Coaster-wise inspiration would probably be Pinewood Hills from Geekism, which you should definitely check out if you haven't already. Because I like, what do you call it? Back end? Basically the backstage area, right? It's why I like doing redstone so much, because, you know, building redstone, building some form of crazy contraption and then hiding it behind a pretty facade. I like doing that. And I like building both the facade and the backstage area. And that's what I want to do with this park here, right? I want to create realistic backstage areas as far as I am capable of doing that, I guess. But yeah, that's what I want to do, right? And I love the Pinewood Hill series for how Geekism tries to actually do this thing realistically. And he probably does a way better job than I ever will. But in any case, that's what I'm doing here. And I don't want to talk over the whole video, so I'm just going to leave you here with this time-lapse of me building a monorail station that will actually not be in the park, but in front of the park. And yeah, see at the end of the video, where I will come back in a sort of real-time section. So, see you then. Okay, so here we are with a finished monorail station. I've done a few things off screen. For one, you can see these screens actually now have a sort of gravel texture, right? I originally intended these things to be like planters or something, but then I thought this is under the station, so there wouldn't be a lot of light here, so any sort of plants or anything would probably not be very successful in living here, which is why I then decided to do this sort of gravel thing. And I originally tried to do it with scenery pieces, but yeah, this was just easier to do, and you know, less police and all, right? So I went with this, actually added in the textures here now. One thing I'm not too sure about is the fact that this is not a fence, right? I tried putting the fence here, but it just doesn't look good. It just looks terrible if I put the fence here. And putting a fence behind it is kind of weird as well. But not having a fence here is probably not the most realistic thing, I think. I'm not sure. But I mean, this wouldn't be very safe if the fence is here to prevent people from just going everywhere, right? And people could just go right through here. So I'm not sure what to do about this, but it's gonna stay like this for now. I also done some interior, which you have actually seen in the last few bits of the time-lapse, because I did it in between. And I'm not sure about this door, we'll get back to that in a moment. And for now, we've got this fence here. You might have seen in the time-lapse that this was actually, this fence here was actually not centered compared to this concrete thing, or whatever this would be. That is because the concrete blocks here were bit off, right? These are bound to the grid, and because of that, I either had to go further here or there, and then I just decided to move the fence out a bit to cover that up. But in the end, I just decided to actually use 2 different buildings for that. So that's that now. Here we've actually got a staff-only sign on this now, and here, going around here, we have this door. The backstage door, right? These would be like, there would be like technical things in here, right? And that's the same thing with that door. I'm thinking about putting the door over here, right? This would be the equivalent, because as you can see, the whole station is point symmetrical, right? So that door is there, and maybe I put the other door here. That would free this space up for, I don't know, like an info board or something, whatever. So yeah, this is the station. I took inspiration from a concept art that I've seen on Google Images, which I'm not going to look that up. Plus, if I just take the image from Google Image Search and put it in here, it would probably end up coming all-inclusive with a copyright strike, so let's avoid that. But in any case, it was a plane symmetrical, right? So it was, imagine this thing flipped. It was similar to that. And that was the major inspiration for this. Right? So it's all open with this stylized flat roof here. I really like that. So I went with that. This is really quite a bit of a box, right? These boxes here are really quite a bit of a contrast to the artsy, flowing roof piece and the tilted pillars here and all. But I like that kind of, right? I mean, it's not in the style of, not really that much in the style of the station, but I like realism, right? As I said in the beginning, I want realistic backstage areas, well, and all, and I like realism, and this would be realistic, right? I mean, this would be technical rooms or something, right? There would be electricity and whatnot in there. And so these would probably be just boxes, right? One thing I don't like too much about this is that this wall is just so flat, right? Because this is kind of like the front of the station. Because what would happen is that we would have a small plaza here, then we would have a street, then we'd have a bigger plaza here, and then the entrance of the park. So anybody coming out of the park would look straight ahead onto the station like this. And I'm not a big fan of how flat this is. Realistically, they would just put something here. I'm not sure what I'll do. I may just do some sort of 3D art thing, right? Nothing integral to the building itself, just be some sort of metal stuff slapped onto the wall or something. Or maybe I will actually do some graffiti art, right? Some, not these wannabe gangster graffiti, but, you know, like actual commissioned graffiti art from an artist. Right? And the back wall, I don't care about back wall, right? Because realistically, the park owners wouldn't care about the back wall here either. This is just backstage area, nobody would see it, so why decorate it? Although I am thinking about putting an actual, gangster graffiti on here, just because people would do that. So maybe I'll do that. And apart from that, I think I'm pretty happy with the station. Again, this side will just go into that mountain. Well, it's not a mountain, it's just a cliffside, right? But it will go in here in the tunnel, and then we'll just say that it goes off into the distance to the city or a town, something, right? To connect up with the normal national rail system. And this side would go off to a hotel or resort type of thing that would also be maintained by the park. And yeah, that's that. So next episode we'll actually build the plazas and the park entrance. And with that, thanks for watching. See you next time. Goodbye.